Shohei Ohtani ruled the offseason talk before he signed, obviously, and he's still being talked about the most, even afterward, obviously. Then you have Yoshinobu Yamamoto, the highly touted starting pitcher from Japan who's only 25 years old, a guy who might get as much as $300 million despite never throwing a big league pitch yet. So the two top free agents this year were and are Japanese players, which is pretty interesting and cool, I guess. After them, there are some other pretty exciting names, maybe not quite as exciting, but still players that would be great pickups for teams. But there's one that stands out to me for the simple fact that nobody is talking about this guy. Nobody. I can't think of any reports regarding his potential free agent destination. Nothing about his likely teams, nothing about what his contract will look like, and it makes absolutely zero sense because he is arguably the top most potentially impactful player on the market after Yamamoto, and I'm talking about Josh Hader. What the hell is going on? Really quick, if you enjoy the content or are new and haven't subscribed yet, consider doing so. Thank you. Josh Hader has very clearly been the best and most valuable relief pitcher in baseball over the last 6 years. His first season was 2017, and that was just a glimpse and a little drop of what was to come. In 2018 and 2019, Josh Hader was more of a super reliever out of the bullpen for the Brewers. He wasn't the primary closer because he would come out and pitch multiple innings pretty commonly and was nasty while doing it, striking out a ridiculous amount of hitters, averaging just under 16 strikeouts per 9 innings in 2018 and over 16 in 2019, finished 7th in Cy Young voting in 2018. 2021 was another ridiculous year for Hader, who was the primary closer this time around and has been since. 2022 was the only year we actually saw Josh Hader struggle, and it was bad. I mean, he was getting crushed out there, and it was weird, but I don't think anyone was surprised when Hader went out and pitched to a 1.28 ERA in 2023, striking out an average of over 13.5 per 9 innings, and became an all-star for the 5th time, this time as a Padre. He has a deceptive delivery, throws hard, has a nasty slider. I truly will never understand how any left-handed hitter can even make contact off of him. It's insane. So as he headed into free agency for the first time, Hader has as good of a resume as any reliever in that situation. He's won the Reliever of the Year award 3 times, is the fastest pitcher to ever reach 400 strikeouts, is a 5-time All-Star. I mean, there's really not much more to say regarding how fantastic he is. And it's not like he's old, he's only 29. He's very clearly the best reliever available right now, and you can argue the most valuable pitcher on the market. Yet I've been hearing virtually every pitcher's name but his. I've been hearing Jordan Montgomery's name more. Now don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with Montgomery. That dude's really good. Has been good for years, just helped Texas win a championship, but Hader is a much sexier pitcher in terms of stuff, velocity, all of that. And this is really more so about not hearing anything Hader-wise, because I'd say I've seen an appropriate amount of Montgomery talk. It's not like he's being talked too much, but when you compare it to Hader talk, it's as if Montgomery is the best pitcher ever, and he's not alone. Blake Snell, Hader's Padre teammate this past season, I'd argue is in the same light or lack of light as Hader. He's not being discussed much either, despite literally just winning the Cy Young Award, his 2nd Cy Young Award, but I've still seen his name much more than Hader. Yamamoto is expected to be the king of starting pitcher talk. But again, he doesn't even have major league experience. Does that mean it's dumb to hype him up? No, he's likely going to be incredible. And he's 25, he's so young. But Hader is a major league proven super reliever / closer, and as elite as one can pretty much get, and we hear crickets. So what's going on here? The overall relief market is weak, Josh Hader is at the top, and after him it's a bunch of guys who aren't nearly as filled with expectations. I would guess some of the explanation for the lack of Hader talk is how expensive he'll be, and how many years he wants. Maybe some teams are kind of turned away by that. But then again, we haven't heard anything regarding that. No concrete numbers, no estimates or rumors of what Hader might be looking for. Nothing. We do know he'll get a good amount of money, obviously, but in terms of any details, there's nothing to go off of. Jordan Montgomery, I just brought him up, we at least have an idea of what kind of a deal he's looking for, with a recent report saying that he's using Carlos Rodon's contract as a comparison to what he should get, which was a 6-year deal with $162 million. But Hader, silence. The largest reliever contract in baseball history currently belongs to Edwin Diaz on the Mets, who was entering his age 29 season at the time of him signing it. Hader, who's entering his age 30 season, could go off of that, or ask for more, which is what I would assume he is or will be doing. His career stats are actually better than Diaz's career stats. Hader has one more Reliever of the Year award than Diaz does, so I would expect Hader to get at least $102 million, which is what Diaz got. And as you can tell, that's not a very bold prediction. It's very easy to see that happening, yet there doesn't seem to be a long list of teams wanting to sign him like there are for others. Maybe it's a vision and philosophy type thing. Teams don't want to spend that much and commit that many years to a relief pitcher. And I mean, if that's the case, at least with some teams, it's not necessarily dumb to operate that way. Relievers are very hit and miss, maybe the most hit and miss. One year they can be great, the next they can suck. I don't know the exact reality and data on this, but I would bet bullpens are the most revolving door type position on teams, more so than position players and starting pitchers for pretty obvious reasons. These guys are throwing less innings, so it's a lesser sample size. There's only so many proven reliable relievers in baseball, so it's not like bullpens around the league have multiple dudes on bigger contracts. So as a result, teams' bullpens are always changing. Some of the best years in history, pitching-wise, by a reliever were by one-hit wonders, or at least guys who you can't fully trust to replicate it again every year. Blake Trinan is a perfect example. In 2018, Blake Trinan in Oakland pitched his way to a 0.78 ERA in over 80 innings, finished 6th in the Cy Young voting, and even got MVP votes. Ridiculous, right? Well, the next year he had an ERA near 5. He has had some good years with the Dodgers since going there and could very well be great in 2024. But you just don't truly know, although I guess that does go for anybody, even Josh Hader, someone who did also have a terrible season like I mentioned earlier in 2022, his ERA was over 5 that year. Who's to say that won't happen again? And that is something to worry about, and maybe that's preventing a team from wanting to spend big on Hader. But at the same time, if there is a relief pitcher who you can trust the most to be elite, it's Josh Hader. It's never 100% of course for anybody, but his resume shows that he is the least risky to give over $100 million to. If there is anyone in today's game close enough to a proven reliever or closer, it's him. He is the closest to that reliability you can get. But again, that doesn't fully explain why nobody is talking about him. It's almost as if he ceased to exist, and baseball reporters, along with us as a society as a whole, are collectively agreeing to just act like he isn't even a free agent to talk about, which is just wild to me. I get that Ohtani and Yamamoto have dominated the offseason talk, understandably so, and they should. They of course are going to get way more attention than anybody, including Hader. But for Hader to almost seem forgotten with how little rumors, reports, and talk amongst the fans there has been about him is completely bizarre. And at this point, I just assume that when he signs, it will happen suddenly. It's just going to drop that Hader agreed to some big contract with whatever team, and that'll be that, without any rumors or reports leading up to it. So, I don't know. This realization that Josh Hader has basically been forgotten finally hit a point where I had to talk about it, because I just don't get it. Let me know what you think. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.